Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The splendid Solitary Rangeress Season 1 appeared lately, and the principal episode wrapped up with scenes from future episodes that incorporated a staggering appearance by Gerry Turner. Joan, a 61-year-old educational cost-based school supervisor from Maryland, met 72-year-old surrendered restaurateur Gerry Turner during the splendid Solitary Officer Season 1. Joan was one of 22 additional carefully prepared single women who came to the solitary individual estate to look for a shot at influencing Gerry. Anyway, Gerry and Joan found they had science on a get-together date during the splendid Single Man Season 1. She had a family emergency and decided to leave the show. Gerry ended up hustling into a not-great marriage with 70-year-old Teresa Nist, yet the marriage completed in April. Anyway, Teresa appears to have forged ahead. Gerry is clearly still furious about how things got done, and I trust it's misguided for him to expand his desolate opinions onto Joan. I truly don't blame Gerry for being angry about how things turned out. Right when Gerry revealed his split from Teresa, the splendid Independent Person Season 1 star got through the most awful piece of the problem for the partition, despite how Teresa was similarly at risk for the separated. The couple couldn't make it work considering the way that Gerry lived in Indiana while Teresa lived in New Jersey, and neither of them was prepared to move. Going through a public detachment is troublesome, and it's sensible that Gerry feels stung by the experience, especially since he was nonsensically offended as the main bad guy of the story. As a matter of fact, he's probably lawfully expected to appear on the splendid Unfastened Female Season 1, and I don't think he was ready to do in that capacity. The splendid Unfastened Female Season 1's trailer appeared lately, and as so much of the time happens, the episode got done with scenes from future episodes. These catches, which Single Person Nation posted on YouTube, nudged Gerry's visit to Joan. In one scene, Gerry demands that Joan consider the way that she won't find her veritable warmth in light of everything. Gerry's horrendous guidance genuinely shows how cruel he really is about his experience as the splendid single man, and I'm shocked that he chose to broaden his sharpness on Joan. Gerry should know that, because the splendid Solitary Officer Season 1 got done with a bombarded marriage, doesn't mean the splendid Unfastened Female Season 1 will end the same way. Anyway, I thoroughly understand the motivation behind why Gerry has such serious opinions about his experience on the show. I don't really accept that Gerry's direction for Joan was valuable, useful, or in any event fitting. Yet again, besides, Gerry should move past his brutality before it keeps him from tracking down adoration. There's been some speculation that there will be a splendid Single Man in Paradise spin-off, and, given that this is valid, Gerry would be the best challenger. The splendid Unfastened Female challenger Gil Ramirez's own examination came out clear, but his ex then recorded a temporary controlling solicitation against him on June 11th, just days before shooting began on June 20th. The splendid Unfastened Female Season 1 including Joan Vassos appeared on September 18th, and Gil, a 60-year-old teacher from Mission Viejo, California, was one of the ones who got a rose from the fundamental lady. In any case, from there on out, new and concerning information has become apparent about Gil. People has gotten reports that charge that Gil's ex recorded an ephemeral controlling solicitation against him 3 months earlier. As shown by a court reporting dated June 11th, a woman who claimed to have dated Gil was yielded an ephemeral restricting solicitation which referred to bullying up close and personal. Notwithstanding the way that Gil's ex referenced a forceful conduct at home restricting solicitation, she made sense of that she wasn't genuinely hurt by him. She ensured, paying little mind to telling him to not contact me, come to my home, he associated with me, family members and mates. 25 undertakings every day through phone, messages, video. In spite of the way that continues with an hour away, showed up at Puts I Progressive to oppose me reliably. She added that this had been going on for a multi-day time frame up until recently. Gil's ex referenced that he not reach out to her and that he keep away from her home, working climate, vehicle, and children's school. A designated power surrendered the short restricting solicitation that day. A gathering was set for July 2nd, At this point, it was deferred considering the way that the solicitation couldn't be served to Gil. Court documentation showed that the gathering was then expected to occur on July 24th, and the fleeting restricting solicitation was continued. At the accompanying hearing date, the court minutes revealed that the case is pardoned without inclination for non-attendance of arraignment for non-appearance of organization. Similarly, the concise restricting solicitation was dropped. According to People, a source close to the splendid solitary rangeress communicated, this recording occurred in the brief period between finish of our cautious establishment assessment and careful really taking a look at process, and the beginning of creation. Taking into account this new information, the splendid single young lady creators have further modified Gil's recently confined screen time and restricted him in exceptional assets pushing ahead. While it's perfect to hear that Gil's splendid single young lady screen time will be confined, it's shocking that the show had near no understanding into the controlling solicitation, whether or not it came after his singular check. The Single Young Lady Season 21 producers similarly missed that there was purportedly a restricting solicitation against Devin Strader, who over the long haul won Gen Trans season. Regardless of the way that Devin's report was fixed, Reality Steve had the choice to easily uncover a ton of information that uncovered that there was a restricting solicitation against Devin. These new headways have phenomenally diminished what limited quantity certainty fans had left in the Independent Person Foundation. The way that the producers have extended 2 men in 2 consecutive seasons who had restricting solicitations against them is upsetting. Potential leads will presumably think about taking at work understanding that conceivably dangerous competitors are progressing into the ventures. There's not a somewhat valid justification for the Independent Person Foundation to give men such a job as Gil and Devin. They ought to work harder to sort out this information. If the media would be capable no sweat admittance it, then the producers should do as such moreover. Each season when the tasks are accounted for, negative information spills about a part of the up-and-comers. Regardless, these 2 events are considerably more serious than anything we've seen already. It's a shame that, just a short time after Joan's splendid single lady season had such a certain presentation, this new hurting information has had some significant awareness of the show. The Independent Person Foundation producers should further develop if they want to continue with their shows from here onward. In a perfect world, Joan's cycle won't be unnecessarily ruined by this, and her season will have a happy conclusion. Single-person Ben Higgins and companion Jess Clark opened up actually on the for all intents and purposes notable advanced recording to talk about their trip to become watchmen. They moreover revealed how Ben investigated the kid. Close by that, they share how they feel about having a kid young woman. Keep on scrutinizing to sort out the sum of their interesting nuances. Ben Higgins, Jess Clark talked pregnancy and having a young woman. Past single man Ben Higgins and his soulmate Jess Clark are opening up more about their most vital kid. Jess shared the subsequent she understood she was pregnant and the way that she told Ben. They examined her pregnancy on the basically famous web recording. Jess revealed that she and Ben were truly suggested a productivity place to be surveyed. She said, "We were suggested a readiness office by my essential consideration doctor since I wasn't ovulating in every case. We did IUI, which is the step before IVF. It took us one endeavor of IUI. So with respect to productivity adventures, we got ridiculously lucky." Then, at that point, Jess shared how she sorted out she was expecting and the way that she told her better half. She said she got up exactly on schedule at 4 a.m. and was very anxious to take a pregnancy test. Her stomach was telling her she intended to imagine that it is positive. Jess looked at the test for what she said was 2 hours. Right when she heard Ben starting to stir, she sent their canine Waylon higher up, wearing a hanky that said senior kin. Jess envisions that Ben will be the best young woman father ever. She said, "I accept you will esteem her and stimulate her and tell her she's exquisite. Besides, I know the way that you make me feel and I can't imagine how you will make our young lady feel. Particularly like so encased by love." Ben thinks his sentiments are more in accordance with being a young woman father. Ben Higgins and Jess Clark used Father's Day to illuminate their people with respect to being grandparents. Since her people don't approach them, She sent her dad an electronic photograph position that she had the inception code to. She can move photos from Colorado, so when she had him on FaceTime, she moved a photo of her pregnancy test. Her whole family was there to sort out the news. Concerning Ben's dad, they gave him a card that said the best dads are raised to granddads. He understood promptly they were endeavoring to tell him something. Ben and Jess are incredibly anxious to welcome their daughter to the world exactly on schedule 1 year from now. Do you figure Ben will be a nice young woman father? Remain tuned for Extra You.